What was it like when you received your acceptance letter?
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Were you excited?
Yes. Yes.
Could have fooled me.
Yes. I was so excited.
Yeah.
So excited.
You got the big envelope.
Yes.
Did you get in everywhere you applied?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Good for you.
SKB?
I did. But but it was such a thing because I actually got my acceptance letter on April 5th.
On your birthday.
I got it on my birthday. And I remember we were talking in school. They're like, if you get rejected, they give you like a small envelope.
Yeah.
But if you get accepted, it's like a big thing.
Yeah, packet.
And I remember seeing like the big, I think it was Manila, and it had Stanford on it, and it had like, maybe it had congratulations like going crossways on. And I was just like,
Spoiler.
It was a great day.
Yeah.
It was a great day.
Ryan?
Ryan got in everywhere.
Oh,
And listen, tell Ryan, tell everybody, our audience, where you applied to school. Come on, Bert.
Come
Name
on.
them off. You know them.
come on.
Okay, fine. I applied to Georgetown,
Yep.
Wash U, Princeton, Stanford, Spelman, Columbia,
Yep.
and Harvard.
Save the best for last,
That's
girl.
right. That's right.
You see how she held that one?
Just
Yeah.
to make sure you had options.
You see how she held that? Was just like, well,
Yeah.
let me just let y'all know Harvard right there like that.
Yeah.
And was mad. And for
So
the
what
first 2
made
years.
you choose Stanford?
There you go.
That is a really good question. So, it was a very hard decision. Like,
Sure.
because I didn't have a lot of like help, like in terms of like navigating the process. I had help in terms of like getting in. Like I knew what to do to get in.
Okay.
And then it like everything fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that it occurred to me what to do after you
Once
get
you
in.
get in?
Again, you're 17.
Yeah,
You're a
who
kid.
would?
Yeah, you just are
Yeah.
like, I gotta get in, and then you're like,
Yeah.
I guess.
And then you'll figure it out from there.
And then you're,
Yeah.
and yeah.
It felt like basic application. Like I went to a very nice high school that had all the resources.
Sure.
It was like, here's how you apply. But I don't think anybody knew anything about theater. And I'm like, I didn't even know about NYU. I didn't even, I was
really?
like, it wasn't even an option. I was
Yeah,
like,
really?
I didn't realize like the difference between a college with a theater major and,
Oh, wow.
and a theater program.
That's
Like,
interesting.
For some reason, it just wasn't in my purview at all.
Yeah.
Because they didn't speak about, I don't know. They just,
My school did.
but you went to,
I was very similar to Chris's school. It
okay,
was a
well,
college
I went
prep
to a
school.
public school. So maybe that's
Great.
why.
Maybe.
No shade. Like I loved my public
But
school.
what was the difference in terms of Stanford versus Harvard?
think
if there was
that-
a and Spelman, like which I think is going to tie into this episode quite
Sure.
clearly.
Oh yeah, that's actually. Oh, so I grew up on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And I think I understood what my trajectory would be had I gone to a Harvard. I mean, I knew Princeton was out for other reasons, but it basically came down between Spelman, Harvard, and Stanford.
Okay.
And only reason because when I went to visit Princeton, it was raining and it was depressing and all the buildings are Gothic. And I
Okay.
literally was like, I'm
Okay.
going to
I
get
can't do
possessed.
that. Yeah. This is a vampire
literally.
movie.
No, it was like, but not in a good way.
No.
You know, like gargoyles, but also not in a good way. And I was like, they were like, do you know what an eating club is? I was like, well, I be on the menu? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
The menu.
No, thank you.
Good
No,
movie.
thank you.
Would you like to join our eating
Yes,
club?
it's like, no. And they're like, I get drunk every week. It was just
Can't
it
I
was-
just have lunch?
Anyway,
Those three.
yes, so it was those three. And I felt very clear, like, if I go to Harvard, I kind of had this very clear vision of who and what I would be,
Yeah.
but I couldn't pin down who that person would be or who I would be if I went to Stanford. And because it was such an unknown,
The mystery is
I was
appealing.
like, I wanted to see.
Did you
the
visit
mystery.
all of these places?
I did.
You did.
I did.
So
I
wait,
did.
in terms of this episode too, because why Stanford then over Spelman?
So, and had to do it all over again. Maybe I'd make a different choice. But when I visited Spelman, I was also in an
Because of
organization.
Sterling.
We didn't meet when we visited school. They have something called a Black Recruitment and Orientation Committee,
Brock
where they
Weekend,
bring like
yeah.
Black
Yeah.
students to school. But neither one of us went to Brock Weekend. I was doing all my sons. Senior year of high school, and so
Oh.
couldn't make it to that weekend. And you
I
had
was
to miss
just
it for something
busy.
else.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had shit
I
to
was
do.
busy. I had
Yeah.
things to do. But I was in
I was-
Jack and Jill. That's probably what I was doing.
Okay.
You were
And
busy letting Harvard know you would not be attending.
Yes, I was probably counseling with them. Like,
Yeah.
so listen, this next time this
Yeah.
happens.
What
this
else
is
do you
how
have to offer other than acceptance?
Spelman.
Spelman. So when I went to visit, because having been in Jack and Jill, and knowing all of the kids on the East Coast.
Jack and Jill is a African American mothers organization. Where their children get together. It's a mother's group, but it's for their children and sort of for their social development to sort of augment the Black experience, especially if they tend to occupy predominantly white spaces, to make sure they have a connection to culture that is also present in their lives.
Got it.
Got it.
Yes. And so, and it's when the older you get, the more it becomes like about your region, right? And so you can imagine back in the day, living on the East Coast, you can hop in a car and get to Boston. You can hop in a car and get to DC. You can, you know what I mean? You're on a train. So we were just all over. We were in Philly. We were in DC. We were in, we loved to go to Brooklyn. We thought we was so, because we lived in Stamford, Connecticut. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So we were like, we're going to Brooklyn. We're going to Brooklyn. You know, and it was like 40 acres and a mule. So we just thought we were so cool. And I
out to
thought I was
Fort
super
Greene.
cool. And like Jersey, and like you go to the Jersey parties because they play the house music. And then like in DC, they played the go-go. So you just felt so like sophisticated and worldly. That was the extent of sophisticated and worldly. For me, was go-go music.
Understood.
And so, but when I went to Spelman, having had that experience, I saw so many people that I knew. And it didn't, and it felt good, but it also, again, felt very familiar.
You wanted something different. You
I
wanted
did.
something
Yeah.
sort of uncharted.
I did.
For
I got
college,
you.
that sounds understandable.
I got you.
I wanted to go somewhere without expectations of who I had been,
Yeah.
informing who I could be.
And something sunny.
And that
I
helped.
didn't. Sunny's not bad.
Yeah.
That helped.
Beautiful weather.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
great
you,
weather.
we like one of my main things from St. Louis is like I wanted either Black people or sunshine. So I applied to 2 schools in DC. I applied to
With white
Howard
people?
and Georgetown,
Yeah.
and I applied to USC, Claremont McKenna, and Stanford University. I was like, I'm going either way. I'm gonna get these Black people. Or I'm gonna get some sunshine.
And you
And I
got
wound up
sunshine
getting
and Black
both.
people.
And I got both.
Yay!
What do you mean? Quick question for you, because I know like you've been doing this for such a long time. Was there ever any thought in your mind as to like pursuing formal education concurrently with career? Or you're like, no, this is what I do.
Question.
I guess I thought about it more after the fact. Like once my friends started graduating,
Yeah.
it kind of dawned on me like, oh, I guess like that experience has passed me by.
Okay.
And did I really miss out on something? Which I do often think like my trajectory was just something inherently different.
Yes, absolutely. And a
But-
different education.
And a different education.
Yeah.
But it sounds fun.
was
Hearing
fun.
you guys speak about it,
I
I'm like,
think you
oh,
did
wow.
just fine,
Yeah,
Mandy.
you
But like
made the right choice.
I think 4 years of being able to just figure out who you are,
Sure.
make mistakes without the world watching, without having the sort of adult responsibilities.
Yeah.
That to me sounds really alluring.
Did you feel older than what you were?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
There was no way around that.
Yeah.
You're thrust in an adult world with all of those responsibilities. Like
Yeah.
I was always still allowed to be a kid too.
Sure.
I could go to the mall. I could go to the Beverly Center and go to CPK with my friends and like see a movie or something. But it was still, I was then, you put on the work hat.
I got you.
Something different.
But never learned to read, right?
But I never learned to read.
Right?
Yep.
It's overrated.
She
It's
has
so
to do
overrated.
scripts like
Yeah.
voice memos.
People read them
People
to her.
read them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You guys, this is how rumors get started, okay?
just
Like
have
for
my
real.
little headphone in.
There are
Flip it.
people who literally have to
Okay.
fight rumors that they can't read.